sure how we now, lads, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Just something on a different note here, right? Just chatting to one of the lads there work, right? So I'm just sitting in the car now and I said, look, turn on the camera there and look at the moon. But it's all about the lockdown. Now the lockdown is, you can't venture any more than 5 miles, I think it is. I'm not sure what it is, we're about 20 miles away now. But look, I mean, I drive all over the country. I'm always on the go. I could start up hundreds of miles a week, so like, don't talk to me about the lockdown and the cozy and all that stuff, right? So the story is now with the old cozy out and about that if they're trying to say, like to put it this way, right? You can go into town into Limerick there, right? And some shops they sell clothes. Now the clothing shops and shoe shops are closed, but yet the coffee shops and other shops are open. And if you go into a supermarket, well, you just mix with all the people in around the supermarket. But yet you can't buy clothes or shoes, but you can buy other stuff, right? And now when you go into the shop, you see big shops, right? You can buy everything, but you can't buy nothing got to do with Christmas. As much as say, them aisles up there with the Christmas, the X's around them stopping you up and down them aisles, that's where the old cozy virus hangs out up there. So you can use the shelf next to it, yeah, you can walk up and down there and buy stuff off that shelf, but you can't buy them off the shelf next to it, no, because cozy's on that shelf. Oh yeah, and by the way, the cozy said it's leaving, so we'll be lifting the ban while it's going away on holidays for a few weeks. But then done, just after Christmas the cozy will be back again. So we'll be putting the lockdown on you again then, alright? So that's what's going on with the old cozy, right? The old cozy 19, alright? So no, the truth, like, I mean, all this, I don't have a television. I didn't have a television in 7 or 8 years. I don't listen to the radio because it's nothing but vile, satanic pimps and prides and the whole shebang, right? Dressed in like pimps and prides and singing like pimps and prides and then getting up on stage and wanting your children to carry on and mimic them. That's what you get from your local radio station, that right? They're supposed to care about you and your family. In the morning times when you turn it on, you'll hear filthy, vile songs and lyrics coming out for your children to have in their mind going to school. So not my children, right? Not my children. My children don't see no TV. I use YouTube and I choose everything they get to see. And they thank me in the future for it, right? They thank me in the future. They never heard a song on the radio. Never ever. It's all just the music I listen to, traditional music, bit of Bob Marley, and a couple of songs there as well from the 80s, but mainly traditional and Bob. And there's another couple of songs, you know, in between, and a few rap songs in between, but I wouldn't listen to the radio. It's not my filth and tripe, right? Again, I pick out the music I want my children to listen to, and I pick out the programs I want them to watch. That's my duty, that's my job. If you leave it up to the government, well, you can see what they give your children to watch. The likes of Fair City and East Inders and Coronation Street, where all the husbands are going on with other fellas' wives are going on with other fellas' husbands, then they're getting back together for dinner, then they're stabbing one another in the back, and that's what the government lets your children watch, plus all the filthy tripe they let them push out over the radio. That's what the government does to your children. So, and the same with the food your children eat, down to the air we breathe, the geo-engineered atmosphere, full of chemicals most every other day. And causing super saturation, right? So I just know the truth, it's up to you to protect your children anyway. So the old cozies, the lockdown, as I said, is being lifted again, so don't ask me, because I just goes and does what I like when I like. I don't listen to that, so I don't give a rat's ass, because I just live free. And if you don't live free, what's the point of being alive at all if you're living under the New World Order? Pick up your little list, your little booklet now. Today we're on stage 4. You can't go outside the door, or you can't go more than 4 miles or 5 miles, right? And all the different stages, and they can put them stages on any time they like. So what boggles my mind is, what I say to people is, how can you look up at a TV and wait for the 6 o'clock news to come on? On comes a man in a suit that you don't know. He's paid to go up there in front of a camera in a suit and tell you what they want you to hear, and tell you about all the different ways the cozy 19 is going to get you if you don't live in fear to the max, right? Because that's the way they want you, living in fear. They control you through fear, that's right. That's how everyone, gangsters control the people below them, through fear, right? That's how they control it. They all control the rules, through fear. So turn off your TV and your radio and you won't be living in fear, right? and get in fresh air. Any chance you get out and get in the fresh air. So back to it, how people, as I said, if that stranger on the TV that gets on in the news, and he tells you what's going on around the place, if that stranger now come on tomorrow night on the 6 o'clock news, right, and said, hold on a minute now, lads, you can take off your masks now today, everything is good, you can get back to winning ways, everything is cushy again. Then the next day, everyone will be walking around without their masks on. Why did you take off your mask? Oh, your man in the news told me, the man in the suit that I don't know from Adam, but I trust a complete stranger who's paid to lie to me. But I trust him over you, bud. That's what happened. So, here comes your man then. He gets up then 2 weeks down the line, then welcome to the news. Here's the news, it's 6 o'clock. Yes, there's been an outbreak of COVID-19. It's breaking out all over the place. Put back on your masks. You're not to go outside the door. Get into single file. Don't go outside unless you have to. Right? That's it. And everyone living in fear. Keep pumping it out in the news every hour through the satanic radio. Keep pumping it out there. The COVID-19. There's people dropping like flies. The hospitals are overwhelmed with the amount of cozy customers coming in. And inside the hospitals dancing around, passing the time, that they have nothing to do. The places are so empty. People with real diseases like cancer, or mentally ill people, or physically disabled people, they're all getting put to the back of the queue. They're living in a living nightmare. Suicide has gone through the roof. Family breakups gone through the roof. Alright, people committing suicide going through the roof. And these people who do that, all these lockdowns, they're all living like kings and queens. They're not going through no lockdown. They're living the dream. They're flying around in their private helicopters and doing their own little thing when they like, how they like, with all the security they like. That's what they'll be doing. While they're telling you, put on the news, there we go again, here comes fear, man. Another person died of COVID-19. It's gone through the roof. You never hear nothing about, what about the flu? What about people who used to die from the flu? Nothing happening there anymore. Summer flu, winter flu, no such thing as that anymore. Just COVID-19 is everything. Right, then your mind gets on the radio. Hold on a minute. On the TV, boom, it's the 6 o'clock news. I know I was telling you for weeks, COVID-19 was going to get you. But word in the cotton fields is, you can take off the masks now again. Take off your mask now, people. Everyone listening to my voice on the news, take off your mask and go out and breathe in the fresh air. That's what's going to be good for you now. And what would the ducks do? That I get up tomorrow, take off the mask, go out breathing in the fresh air. Why don't you take off your mask? Oh, just your man on the TV told me, the news, the fake news, the mind control, minions that push their new world order agenda. The UN, United Nazis. They push their agendas into Ireland all the time, kick God out of this church, destroy our schools, break up the family home, make people dependent on social welfare, and what they're doing now is called the reset now. I feel it's out this a long time on my other channel, Rails or Sharp. All about this, what they're up to. They're resetting the world economy. The plan is you leave the poor dependent on the government, you would break all the middle class, you get rid of them, you triple them, you close down their shops till they're all going to bankruptcy, right? And they're down there with the poor as well. And then you have the rich at the top, the kings and queens of the world, you have the poor at the bottom, and who's going to keep the peace? In the middle they'll put the police, called the police state, and they'll be the buffer between the rich and the poor, and then that'll last for years upon years upon years, probably never end, because the water's full of fluoride which slums you down. Your foods are getting packed, destroyed in pesticides. All them Cheerios and Wheatos and all that crap for children covered in pesticides, heavy metal poisoning, all this crap, right? The atmosphere every day you look in, you see the planes fly over, instead of the contrail that comes out of the plane, instead of it dissipating and vanishing in a few seconds, like a huge cup, now they go across the whole sky, and then they spread out, and they turn the blue sky white. And you get what's known as a satanic shield, a big shield of geoengineering. And out of that then you produce rain and more rain, and you get what's known as super fatty waste.